Chapter 5. The Unseen Thread. The late afternoon sunlight streamed through the large windows of SkyPath's headquarters, casting long, angled shadows across the conference room table. Kirsten sat quietly, her fingers resting lightly on the edges of her notebook. The room was empty for now, save for her and her thoughts, but it wouldn't stay that way long. She had been working toward this moment, not just for SkyPath, but for the threads she had started to unravel for SkyPath, TopNote, and Wordscape. Each company carried its own narrative and struggles, but in Kirsten's mind, they weren't disconnected. They were part of a larger tapestry. She could sense the overlapping patterns. SkyPath's focus on sustainability, TopNote's need for cultural relevance, and Wordscape's desire to foster engagement. Together, they formed an undercurrent of untapped synergy, a resonance quietly forming beneath the surface. The door opened, and Manny Duncan stepped in, followed closely by Haley Levins and Maurice Carter. They took their seats without hesitation, each carrying an air of cautious optimism. Manny glanced at Kirsten. "You said this meeting would clarify the next steps. What's the focus today?" "Connection," Kirsten said simply, "not just with SkyPath, but beyond it." The session began as Kirsten guided the team through a structured dialogue, weaving together insights she had gathered over the past week. Maurice discussed the progress made on recalibrating SkyPath's production system, emphasizing how collaborative sessions with R&D had accelerated timelines. Haley, meanwhile, shared how better internal communication had begun to stabilize financial forecasting. Kirsten listened intently but offered little commentary, focusing on drawing out the common threads. Finally, she spoke, her tone thoughtful. "This progress is promising, but there's something larger at play here," she began. SkyPath's work on biofuels doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a broader movement toward sustainability, which needs cultural and community engagement to succeed. Haley frowned slightly, her analytical mind processing the shift in perspective. "Are you saying we must market this as a social movement?" "In a sense," Kirsten replied, "but not just through traditional marketing. Think about this. What if SkyPath's commitment to sustainability could amplify the work of other organizations? And what if their work, in turn, could amplify yours?" Maurice leaned forward, intrigued. "Are you suggesting partnerships?" "Exactly," Kirsten said. "In my work, I often come across organizations with overlapping missions and untapped potential for collaboration. I've encountered 2 others who, with their permission, could align with SkyPath's goals in transformative ways. Each is facing its own challenges, but they share a need for alignment and purpose. Together, you could create something far greater than any of you could achieve alone." Kirsten outlined her observations, weaving the narrative deliberately, building on Manny's enthusiasm for exploring collaborative opportunities. At TopNote, she had seen how the label's artists struggled to balance creative freedom with cultural impact. At Wordscape, she had uncovered a desire to rekindle community engagement through storytelling and connection. And here, at SkyPath, the mission was clear: to redefine the future of aviation through sustainable innovation. SkyPath's biofuel isn't just a product. It's a story, Kirsten continued. A story about innovation, resilience, and responsibility. TopNote has the platform to tell that story. Wordscape can ground it in community dialogue. You can reach people on multiple levels: intellectual, emotional, and practical. The room fell silent as her words sank in. Manny broke the silence, his voice measured but thoughtful. "And what would that look like in practice?" Kirsten stood and walked to the whiteboard, sketching out a preliminary framework. "Imagine this. SkyPath sponsors a socially conscious music tour powered by your biofuel. TopNote's artists create a narrative around sustainability and cultural change using the tour as a platform. Wordscape hosts environmental awareness panels in its stores, tying it all together through community engagement and storytelling. Haley's eyes narrowed slightly, her mind already moving to logistics. It's ambitious, but it's also compelling. Maurice nodded. It makes sense. Each company brings something unique to the table, but together it's more than the sum of its parts. Manny leaned back, a faint smile crossing his face. It's bold, and it's exactly what we need. By the end of the meeting, the groundwork was laid. Kirsten would facilitate initial conversations between the SkyPath, TopNote, and Wordscape leadership teams, helping them align their goals and explore potential collaborations. It was only the beginning, but the resonance was already taking shape. As the team dispersed, Kirsten lingered in the conference room, her gaze drifting to the whiteboard. The lines and circles she had drawn represented more than strategy. They represented possibility. The unseen thread that connected these organizations was finally beginning to reveal itself, and for the first time, the vision of what they could achieve together felt within reach.